Hi all, I need some advice. Yesterday, a colleague and I had an altercation. For context, we both work in the same department where our job is to manage field engineers' workloads, book them into sites for repair work and serving. That sort of thing. Yesterday, I called the engineer she took over from me to ask him a question about an inquiry I had come through. He answered the phone in tears and was clearly upset. I won't share the details of the conversation we had because that is private, but we're getting him the help he needs. I also sent him home because I have the authority to do that in my role now. I then asked my colleague if we could have a private conversation because I didn't want to share all these details with the entire office. She immediately asked why we couldn't have the conversation in front of everyone, to which I responded it's too private and not about myself, so I would prefer we didn't. She demanded that if we had this conversation, she needed a witness in case I said something out of turn. Now it's me, her, and a random other member of staff in a room talking about this engineer. She interrupted me at every opportunity, was constantly trying to get me to say private details about the engineer which I wasn't able to share for privacy reasons. She accused me of overstepping onto her role and that I needed to ask her permission before sending anyone home. Please remember, she is technically below me now because I was given training and promotions over her. She said that if I was going to do this, I may as well take on all this engineer's work as well. She was getting louder and ruder as the conversation continued. I obviously pulled an annoyed face at one point after she yelled again, and she repeatedly said, "Why are you looking at me like that? And don't look at me that way." I had to leave the room because I was getting so upset. All I did was support the engineer, and I'm basically being verbally assaulted by a colleague who doesn't even like her role and complains about it every day. I go outside to call my line manager to tell him the situation. She followed me outside and sat and watched me on the phone and waited until I got off the phone to try and speak to me again. I told her I needed some time to compose myself before restarting the conversation. After about 20 minutes of me trying to calm down and tidy myself up from crying, she left the office. Apparently, she said to my other colleagues that she needed some time away because she was upset and would be back in a few hours. I had to cover her phone calls and customer inquiries until she came back several hours later. I got another phone call from my manager that evening and she had apologized to him but not to me. Today, she has come into the office like nothing happened. Said good morning to everyone including myself, although I did blank her. And for some reason, this had made me even more angry. How dare she make me so uncomfortable and upset at my place of work the day before, not apologize to me, and then pretend nothing happened. I was going to, but I guess my question is, am I the asshole if I put in an official complaint against her for inappropriate workplace behavior and breaking privacy protocol because she forced me to give up personal details about someone else who shared them with me in confidence? Please help me by giving me some advice. This is such an awkward situation.